Hello. Okay, I'm gonna make sure these volume levels are okay for my mic. Um, you guys will let me know. You'll let me know if my mic to music volume ratio is okay. Um, First of all, it's actually annoying. Literally, like the last hour or so now, I've had a bit of a dry cough coming. So, if at any point I have to stop and like wheeze, I am sorry for that. At the same time, if you hear like a rumbling in the background, the clothes dryer is going on downstairs, so that's what you're hearing. But um, it's good to see you, Felix, and it's good to see you too, Clone. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, the lore is a bit, it is what it is, but I'm just kind of wrapping up some of the loose ends that I've had lying around, and then I'm gonna get to the more current stuff. But yeah, the way that I am gonna be doing this is the same as the last one, where I kind of have my spiel, and this is like the full version of the video that just came out, meaning that I'm going to go as in-depth as possible. I'm gonna literally explain like as much as I can about everything, and then after that, if you have any questions or whatever, you can ask me, and I'll just go down through any questions that are there, and then we can just kind of like just talk for a little bit. I think this topic is not going to be as long, hopefully, as the previous one, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So, with all that being said, I'm just gonna begin. So, what this extended discussion is about, and it's the same as the video that just came out, is about what I like to call the God statue. And the God statue is a very unique statue that was introduced to us in Witch Queen, and I remember the first time that I discovered the statue. Witch Queen had just come out, and we had just found the Enclave. And most people were, when they went to the Enclave, they were really excited for the weapon crafting and all that kind of stuff. As soon as I saw the statues in the background, I immediately began running to the back of the room. I know you two, Clone and Felix, were there, so you probably remember, or you would have seen me do it. And there I saw all these statues. And we had statues of people, we had statues of ponies, and of course we had the God statue. And I actually don't really need to bring up a picture because it's in the thumbnail. It's that statue on the left, and that was immediately one of the more interesting ones to me. So I'll tell you. I want to tell you a few of the different statue types that we got. So, do I have any good pictures actually, real quick, of those other statues before I went to try and okay, I'll just pull up. I'll pull up these one. Okay, and then we go here. I will take you to the picture. So we had the people, and then we had the pony. And there were others too, but these were two of the more clear ones that had straight up obvious explanations. There are still plenty that maybe like one or two that I don't know the meanings of. And I want to tell you, first of all, what I think the meaning was, right? The big thing with these statues, actually, and what I will also show you real quick, and I found this recently on ArtStation, is and I literally just realized I made the music playlist, but I only added it to the previous thing and not for this one where I'm showing images. So we're not completely free of the scuffed stuff yet. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. I found this on ArtStation from an artist over at Bungie, and I think that you will find it very interesting. I sent it to a friend, so if it comes down to it, I can always just download it from there. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna download it from my friend. Give me 1 second. I'm scrolling. Here we go. Let me just... Okay. Excuse me. The thing actually... But anyway, the... This is the image here. And we go back and make sure you can see it. Yes, you can. And the name of this is literally 1 out of 8. And it's by Eric Pfeffer. I don't know. It's a German word, Pfeffer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But anyway, this is... I want to say that this is an early version that was created. But anyway, I'll just have this up here because I think it looks cool. So I'll tell you what the meaning is. I'm kind of rambling a bit now. So these statues, to me, right away, represented. So for some people, maybe they saw them and they're like, oh, it's, you know, whatever. But to me, right away, I understood that this represented the history and the culture of the pyramid race, right? Because I believed that there was a race connected to the pyramids, and at the same time, I believed that they were connected to ancient humanity. And so this represented that culture of that civilization. And so when I saw the quote-unquote God statue, I was immediately like, yes, this is also representing that aspect of that culture. And the next thing that I want to tell you is why God statue? Why am I calling it the God statue? Because it's a very specific name, and it isn't even necessarily to do with what my like final, I guess, explanation as to what this statue represents. It's mainly why am I calling this thing the God statue? And it really has to do with what is it when you look at it. And it is, and you know what, actually what I'll just do, I know, but then I can't control the volume levels. I'm just gonna leave it, it's fine. Do you know what, if you can bear with me for 1 minute, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to add the playlist that I made. I know it's annoying, I'm sorry. There we go, we're done. And then I'll just make this loop. Okay, we're good. Nice. And if the volume levels are not good, I think they're fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. Anyway, so what do you see when you look at this? You see an animal-human hybrid. And I touched on this in the video briefly, but the fact is, right, that you have all these statues of people. So you know that this isn't the race that's connected to the pyramid race. And at the same time, it is very unlikely that there were any creatures like this walking around. So the fact of it is that when you look at this, you understand that this is not representing a character or a creature that actually existed, more likely than not. And because of the fact that these statues represent the history and culture of the civilization, and this wasn't specifically in reference to the statues, but I touched on this in the previous stream. If we look at things like here, this is for Valve the Disciple. All of this was specifically stated to be part of that whole town square representing the history and culture of the people, right? And this was coming from Bungie artist, I believe it was Dima Goryanov. So you have a mythological creature, or a creature that doesn't actually exist, but was, you know, created for some kind of symbolical reason. And it's representing the history and culture of the race. what is it? It has to be a god. At the same time, when you connect that to the fact that, again, this race are so heavily inspired, if not connected to ancient humanity, that, yeah, you look at ancient Egypt, you look at mythological characters or creatures from other cultures, they have the animal-human hybrid theme going on as well. So anyway, that is why I call this thing the god statue, because from a cultural and just trying to find what is the significance of this statue, the clearest explanation is that this thing is some kind of a deity or god. Because again, this is not an actual person or creature, more likely than not, and even the pose, the way it's standing, it has a very authoritative, I guess, stance. And even like this picture is from the public event that happens in the throne world. These statues, you know, appearing like this, again, this really shows that these are important. So anyway, that is why I call this thing the god statue. So I will tell you again what was my belief at the time. And my belief was, when it came to these statues and it came to all the other statues that we got, right? And it's even, for the record, it's even the same with these statues here. I know these never made it into the game, and I actually was talking to my friend, and I'm beginning to wonder if these were actually developed for Destiny 3 before they canned it. But I'm not gonna get into that. But even with this, right, the fact of the matter is that these statues also represent a history and culture. Even though these are like the actual, you know, representing the actual people, you know, their clothing, the fact that the clothing has the same, you know, lines and the diagonal patterns that you see in pyramid ship architecture, mainly in the Kolobayev art, actually. And so for this, it was like, okay, so this, I'm sorry. So the other side of it, right, was that at the time, my belief when I see this, so you need to understand, right, like what do you see in the background here? You see this pyramid ship. We kind of have a good idea of what these things are capable of. These are, as far as we know, the most powerful ships in the entire Destiny universe. The Black Fleet and the Pyramid race are, in my opinion, arguably the most powerful race and civilization to have ever existed. And you have, I mean, now we're going into the future, the whole concept of the final shape and the witness and all of that. So why do they have these things? Why do they have, why have this? Why do they have this? Well, yeah. The answer is really simple, actually. It's the fact that even though they're so powerful, their cultural, I guess, intelligence and it's not the culture and the core, I guess, I don't know, the tradition and the soul of the civilization is a bit behind the technology. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a really good picture that literally shows all of it. It's this picture. So my point about the statue is that it shows a lagging between the civilization's soul and traditions and culture and the technology. And this picture shows it because you have literally a pyramid taking off into the sky. You have some neon, even beyond cyberpunk, like Tron or some kind of Star Wars, you know, like super advanced alien sci-fi looking stuff. And then you got the hieroglyphics. then you have the pots. And the, you know, the kind of old pillars and the stone and the all of that, right? And I've made this point so many times over the years, and I made it back in the Eldritch Theory videos. This picture, the fact that you have old in the foreground, oops, new in the middle ground and a combination of the two in the background, that means that it did not take that long to go from A to B when they had C, when they combined the two. Because you go around any modern city, right? And you're gonna have relics of the older eras, sure. You know, maybe you have older buildings, maybe you'll have stuff like the Colosseum or any ruins or remains of older civilizations. But the two are not really mixing in that much, not really. This is very much mixing in. So, okay, I know I'm kind of rambling on here. What is my point? My point is this. The lagging happened between the traditions and the culture and the technology. It's because it took them so little time to get that technology. The reason why is because of a golden age. Now, we know this, right? This has been proven a fact. But this is what I was saying way back when. And this is what my belief was looking at this. If you have a bunch of pagan people living in a desert, living in tents, right? Cutting open cacti to get water, praying to, you know, all kinds of gods, and they don't have any real understanding of science or how the world works or anything like that, you know, because of the time. You give them spaceships, and they figure out how to fly the spaceships, that's cool. But they're probably still going to either keep on to their religions or certain aspects of their traditions are going to carry forward, okay? And that was my opinion and my belief when I saw these statues, okay? So I knew the pyramid race existed, they were a people, they had a civilization and a culture. I believed that they had a golden age, and the fact that they're still making statues like this, it shows that they still, to a certain extent, are holding on to their traditions and their culture. And even again, after I found these statues, when the raid came out, and then that concept art for the raid came out, and the whole thing about the places of worship and all of that, these are a people that, although they are the most powerful people in the Destiny 2 universe, although they are going after the final shape, although they've seen the Traveler, they still have their history and their culture and their religion and all of that. So that was my belief at the time when I looked at this statue. Okay, cool. Then we have the middle period. And this is where we kind of got a bit, I made a video about it, and I was just kind of having fun with it, right? We have the link between, and this is a link that I made, just for the record, like it's not like it's confirmed. We have the link between this right here and this right here. And what's interesting is that although so much of the Kolobayev art, and when for the record, if you're here and you don't know what I'm talking about, when I say Kolobayev art, I'm talking about this picture. Even though so much of this is gone, and you know nothing's ever really happened with it, we did get the statues. But then in Witch Queen, they still kept the ring. And there's two different ways of looking at it. So the first way is very obvious, right? The ring represents the Traveler. Have you noticed that nearly any of these statues, except for the ones in pyramids, like in the European or the Moon one, actually I need to go back and check the Moon one, but you look at this statue, you look at the one in the Deep Stone Crypt, and you look at the one in the Black Garden. They have a sphere of some kind going on. So here, the fact that this light is creating this sphere around the trail, I don't think that's like just a coincidence. Okay, I really don't. I think this is Bungie being clever. Okay, and I will pull up the Deep Stone Crypt statue, and that's actually a really terrible picture. but it is what it is. Let me get a better picture, please.
Please give me a better picture, thank you.
Okay, this one could be better. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Okay, right, I'm just gonna download this and open it. No, it's a WebP. I don't want a WebP. Alright, I'll just bring it over here. This is the Deep Stone Crypt. Again, you have the sphere that's kind of being attempted to form. And then with the Garden of Salvation, the Garden of Salvation is, again, in a very similar situation. Let me close this, and then we go here. This is actually kind of obvious now when you look at it. Open a new tab. And you can see this here. Again, another sphere, this time from trees being formed around the statue. I know that was very long-winded, but it's kind of nice to show it. So, when you look at the ring, it could be just that the ring represents the traveler, and why would it represent the traveler? Well, because the statue is of the gardener, who is connected to the traveler. Okay, cool. The other possible link is that this, connecting to this, is... So, if you're wondering like what this is, right? This is the Eye of Ra, if I remember correctly. And the Eye of Ra is what this character was. So Ra had, and this is where, and this is going to be mainly beneficial if you did watch the video, because I talked about, do you know what, okay, fine. I'm going to transition now into the next point, which is the link between the statue, these statues, and actual ancient history. Okay, so like I said before, the pyramid ships are very much rooted with ancient humanity and its civilizations, and you have connections in architecture, like with this. This is, I would say, like ancient Sumer, or sorry, like Mesopotamian architecture, and even I think I've seen some Egyptian buildings that kind of are in this style. I mean, you got the straight up Sphinx looking at you there. You have Greece, interestingly enough. You go to the Exo Challenges. All of the Exo Challenges are named after ancient Greek titans. It's Oceania, whatever it's called. Atlas. And... is it Phoebe? It's not Phoebe. Oceanus, Atlas, and I don't know. I can't remember Phoebe. I don't know. Just I don't care. Who cares? And at the same time, you have this statue. Here. For those of you who don't know, this art was made by Andrew Kreutzer, who is a very high up artist at Bungie. This was on his art station, but not listed as Destiny 2. However, we know for a fact that he did work on Witch Queen because he was credited by other artists in their work for Destiny 2, so he did definitely work for Destiny 2 on Witch Queen. And at the same time, furthermore, when I emailed him asking him just about the art, he took it down, right? So me and I guess my friend, who I don't even know if he took if he saved himself, but I am one of, if not the only person who actually has this art saved, probably. But as you can see here, this statue is ancient Greek inspired, really heavily so. This seems to be like a toga of some kind. Was toga? I have to look it up. I can't remember if togas were, or toga was Roman. I'm getting my stuff mixed up. I'm sorry. But anyway, long story short, you have your ancient Greek inspiration here. But when you look at these statues, the closest inspiration easily is ancient Egypt. And that leads us to the ripoff. Because Bungie did... I don't know if Bungie was just lazy when they did this, or if they were being kind of cheeky, and they just were wondering if somebody would notice. But I'm going to show you real quickly, before I show you what I'm talking about, a little bit more detail about this statue right here. Because obviously, you know, everything's kind of meshed together and it's hard to see the exact details. So the easiest thing to see is that you have the horns, you have what I believe is a cow head, and maybe this is hair or something, I'm not too sure. And you do have protrusions from the chest, and I say that after respectfully observing. And you have the arm coming down and holding a staff of some kind, and you can't really see, but the other arm comes down and then is in a fist. And I did take some screenshots way back when. This is the statue head, protrusions, the staff, and this is the arm coming across. And again, that's the statue, the horns. This is the arm that comes down into a fist. And this right here is the other hand. Okay. And this is the other hand holding the thing. And this seems to be... By the way, if you hear people crying, I'm sorry. These are the hooves. I know it looks like I just drew the line here, but there actually is a line that's there. I'm tracing over the line. Okay, so you know you have a good understanding of like what this statue is actually doing, right? It has the arm, it has the fist here, and it has the staff. Okay, cool. Then we have this. it even, do you know, it even has the hair. I just realized it even has like the hair coming down. They literally copied it. They literally copied it. Like 1-to-1. The only thing that's different, apart from this here, which, this is like the same thing as that other statue I showed you, this here, with the Eye of Ra, I'm pretty sure. But the main thing is the head, that's different. So this is a statue of Sekhmet, right? Sekhmet is depicted as a lion or a woman who has the head of a lion. And this is Hathor. Hathor. And so theoretically, if this was in Egypt, you would be like, oh, that's a statue of Hathor. Okay, cool. So, what is the significance of that? So, going into Hathor. Hathor is, as my video, you know, and I had that other video play in my thing from that website, like a school thing or whatever, and yeah, basically Hathor was a god of the sky. Isn't that interesting? Eh? You get the sky. Do you see where I'm going with that? Yeah. Okay. Used for rejuvenating the cosmos. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Lady of the Stars. Oh, Starlight was my mother. Okay. Anyway, life after death. Ooh. So very interesting. Okay, very interesting. And what's also interesting, and I said it in my video, is that yes, these are two different statues, or two different gods, but they actually kind of cancel each other out, and they're actually kind of the same. Because in certain stories, this one, Sekhmet, turns into Hathor. So, you know, again, it's kind of on the nose that they're copying that statue. So where am I going with this? Okay. So in my opinion, it's clear that this statue represents a god of the pyramid race. And I've already explained why. It has, let's just say, striking similarities and strikingly clear inspirations from ancient Egypt. And when I look into it, I see links to the god Hathor. I look into Hathor. I see a lot of character traits and a lot of, you know, what the god represents. Okay, cool. And I see links. And I see links to the gardener. Now, first of all, I want to say, am I saying that this is of Hathor? For sure? No, I'm not saying this is of Hathor at all. I'm actually not. I am not saying that this is of Hathor. Hathor, whatever. What I'm saying is that I don't think it's a coincidence that this statue looks a lot like Hathor. And I think that this statue looking like Hathor gives us clues to the true meaning of what the statue is. If that makes sense. And I believe that this is a link to the gardener. And then we fast forward to Season of the Deep, where we had the beluga give us the cutscene that should have been in Beyond Light. It should have been in Beyond Light. You can't convince me that it shouldn't have been in Beyond Light. And yeah, we had the Pyramid Race, who worshipped the gardener, or the traveler, as their deity of life. And I said it before in my last stream, but we do know that the Pyramid Race have two different religions. They had their pre-fall religion during their golden age, in which they worshipped the gardener. And I do believe that after their fall, but maybe before the creation of the Witness, they followed a version of the sword logic. And that is why I believe you have all those swords everywhere in the architecture. And you know what's interesting as well is that, and again I mentioned D3 stuff, but I think there's a good chance that there's way more of a significance in them changing the architecture for Witch Queen than people realize. And I'm not really going to go into that now, but I do think there's a much bigger significance behind them changing it. I think if the swords were really nothing, you wouldn't see any swords at all post Beyond Light. But you do. So therefore the swords have significance and meaning. And I have my saying, which is that repetition makes a pattern, and a pattern has meaning. So the Pyramid Race have two different religions, right? They have their gardener religion and they have their sword logic religion. And the question then comes, okay, so the statues. Well, considering everything that I've told you and about how it points to the gardener, and we now know for a fact that yes, there was a Pyramid Race. Yes, the gardener gave them a golden age and they turned on her. And yes, they worshipped the gardener. That was the other thing. Back in the day, right? I didn't just say that the gardener gave them a golden age. I said that they worshipped her. And that was true. So, yes, with everything that I have told you about why I believe that these statues represent gods of the Pyramid Race, the links between them and Egyptian mythology, and what that tells us and what the clues indicate about the statue's true meaning, the fact that all of that pointed to the gardener, and then in the future the fact that we had confirmation that they did worship the gardener as their deity of life, no less. And again, the whole stuff with the sky and life after death and all of that. And let me just put it like this. Okay, I'm gonna do something really cheeky. I'm gonna do something a bit cheeky. You know what's really interesting about life after death with the Egyptians? Okay, they have their canopic jars, and I've already talked about this. I already had a video about this, but if you've watched me, you know what I'm talking about with the canopic jars. And I haven't made a video about it yet. But I hinted at a similarity and a link between the Cloud Ark on Neamuna and the Veiled Woman statues. Okay? So consider what the canopic jars usually mean. Consider the fact that on Neamuna, the place where the Cloud Ark is and the Veil, it's linked to the ancient Sumerian afterlife. Okay. And then I'm still looking for the picture, by the way, while I'm saying this. And then look at this picture, the one that's hiding from me. Look at that picture. That's... Bro, you're ruining my timing. Bro, why are you doing this to me, man? Like, that's not cool. Like, you just ruined my moment, and now I'm acting like a babbling idiot. Like, this is what they're talking about, you know? Like, why you bully me? Well, why you do this? Okay, well, I guess... Oh, I bet it's in the other folder. Right, let's go back down. It's in the other folder. I was correct. Oh, and they don't show it! And they don't show it! Okay, basically, when you go through the moon pyramid, you have the canopic jars scattered everywhere. When you get to this statue, there's a ton of them all huddled around this statue. So anyway, my point being life after death. Yeah, okay. So, my point is this. After everything that I've just told you, I believe that these statues are connected to the gardener, and it's a representation of them worshipping the gardener. But my final point in that video was, to be fair, but these statues are also of the gardener. So why would they have two different statues? Now this is where the part where it's very much like a what if kind of thing. Because there's no true evidence, it's just interpretations of some very vague dialogue. We know from Asa that although they worshipped the gardener, although they seemingly knew kind of what she looked like, they didn't really know much more. And it didn't talk to them. Specifically, it did not talk to them. And my current belief, my like headcanon, is that they saw this character, and for the record, let me just put like this. When we saw that leaked, or not the concept cutscene for D1 with the gardener on Mars. I'll just pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. This one, you know what I'm saying. The gardener does show her face. And so the fact that, like, let me just put it like this. If the gardener showed her face to them, they wouldn't be making statues that look like this. They would probably be making statues more along the lines of this. So, but that being said, that being said, what if, like, I mean, is this maybe? It's I don't know. Anyway, so my point is this: there's a chance that they worship this gardener, but the gardener did not show or say much to them. Maybe it visited them in dreams, because pretty much any interaction we've seen with the gardener to characters, it's been through dreams. The Speaker, Saint 14. I'm trying to remember any others, honestly. Maybe the Alpha Lupi stuff. But this is all they had. That's all they had. But remember what I said about the lagging between the culture and the traditions and the technology. So, although, and let me pull it up. I've got like 15 million pictures. This is great. Although they're looking like this, they're still the nomads. They're still the people with the camels in the desert. And it's kind of like that thing where people will create gods for the sake, like people will need their gods or whatever. And I think even though they had that statue with the veiled woman, it wasn't enough, and what's more, I think it was too alien for them to really integrate into their culture. And culture is a very big thing for the pyramid race. That is why you have statues like this. You know, it's a very important thing to them. And so I believe that these statues was their way of integrating the gardener into their culture. That's my belief. And and for all we know, these statues could have been made, and I'm saying versions of these statues that were not made using this technology, right? This pyramid stuff. They could have had statues like this made before they ever saw the Veiled Woman. We don't know. But this is my final point. And then I think I've pretty much covered everything. Oh, and then there was the stuff with the Eye of Ra. Yeah. Basically, Sekhmet and Hathor, both of them definitely Sekhmet, but they were what were known as the Eyes of Ra. And, bro, I'm just gonna do the thing here. Oh no, maybe it was the Eye of Ra. Wait a minute. Whoopsies. 1 second. No, it was. Yes, I was right. Bro, don't you dare doubt me. Yes, the Eye of Ra was a title, and it was a role, and they acted, and Sekhmet specifically acted as the vengeful manifestation of Ra's power. So, again, if you want to be really wishy-washy about it, you can maybe be like, oh, I didn't know, but it's whatever. But my final point is this, and then I'm going to just end it for this part, and then we'll get into the questions and discussion and all that. I have told you everything that I can about the statue. The reality is this. Out of all of the statues that the Pyramid Race have, this is one of a kind. The only other ones I can think of are the weird destroyed one of Rolk, where it was just his legs. Who cares? Right? And then the one of Nezarec. But again, those are of characters that we know of and that actually existed. This is a once-off statue where it clearly has cultural and symbolical significance, and yet there's literally no clear direct evidence other than you going digging into the inspirations. And all I can say is this is a statue I've had my eye on for years, and I've talked about this probably a few times for years. This is the only explanation that I can give you. There is no other explanation that I can give. Bro, if they wanted to make a statue of a cow, they would have had a statue of a cow, dang it. Okay? You got statues of lions, horses, the ponies. They've got foxes. Who knows what else they got? Probably some, I don't know, freaking koalas or something. This is special. This animal-human hybrid. This is the only explanation that I can give you. This thing represents a god. This is the god statue. And we know for a fact that they worship the gardener. So unless this represents a god that they worshipped alongside the gardener, do you want to worship the god, right, that you made up and that doesn't do anything? Or do you want to worship the ball in the sky that literally created an oasis for you? I don't know. And this clearly wasn't something that, like, they're not gonna make this, like, after the fall, right? So, the only explanation that exists is that this represents the gardener, and when you go down that route, you meet the conundrum with the other statue, the veiled woman statue. And the only explanation that I can give there is that this represents their way of integrating the gardener into their society and culture. And they probably made up stuff about the gardener that isn't true, you know? But, yeah, that is literally I don't think I can say anything else about this statue. I really don't. You know, maybe we can go like, what does the staff mean? I can't even really see the staff fully. I mean, you kind of can here, but depictions of these, like Hawthor, for example, holding a staff. It doesn't look anything like this because it has like a thing on the top, and I don't see anything like that. So I can't really tell you anything else about this. Is there a chance that the animal is wrong and it's actually Sekhmet? Like this is a lion head and this is like a headdress? Maybe. No, genuinely, like there's a dirt. Maybe. Do you know what I'm gonna do, boys, girls, people? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I wanna. Wait a minute. Oh no. Too many. So we've got the Moo Moo. Dang it. I don't know. I actually don't. I don't really know. Personally, if it's a lion, then it's Sekhmet for sure. But no, you kind of see the nose here. I don't know. I should ask my girlfriend. She could tell me easily. But anyway, I've told you everything. That's my piece, and yeah, GG. That's everything. Okay. Right. Okay, let me go through the chat. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope I wasn't too, like, rambling all over the place. I hope you kind of understood what I was saying, and I hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, what I plan on doing is, I am going to clip that part of this stream, and I will upload that as a VOD tomorrow for anybody who missed it and who's interested. And also my Windows Explorer is being... Bro, I need a new PC. I require an upgrade. Okay, let me pull the communications up, and we will discuss. Horns of the thumbnail look like a crescent moon. Yeah. Maybe not that relevant for Destiny, but the sun and moon had high regard in the ancient world and civilizations. Yep. Yeah, it does mean pepper. Yeah. The horns kind of remind me of Nezarec. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it really has any connection. Togas for Rome. Yes. And the patricians. Yeah, patrician class. Yeah. So yeah, Himation or him, whatever. Yeah, that's probably a more accurate term for it. Yeah. Um, and also at the same time, I was debating with that statue whether it was Greek or Roman. I am leaning towards Greek purely because of the fact that there was that relic with Latin, well, the Latin alphabet, and that was, well, no, that was Rome. My bad. Sorry. So maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know. Even Bife said it should be in like. Well, clone. I don't just think Lightfall. I think Beyond Light. Beyond Light was the time to introduce the Pyramid Race. 100%. You know? Now, back in the day, before Beyond Light came out, I was expecting, because I was still on the Bungie Kool-Aid, right? I was still like, oh, Bungie's like, they got the magic and amazing, and I was expecting like a new enemy race to fight. But just even have something, you know? Just something. A question, can any of your current theories about statues or other topics trace to DU1, skipping the retcons, or have you found any clues to first game's lore? Honestly, man, like, so I will tell you this because I was told this. The pyramid ships for original D1 before it came out, they were supposed to, I don't know, should I say this or not? And does it really matter? Like, it didn't happen, so no, I can't really, like, there's nothing really pyramid wise that goes back to D1, not really. And I personally believe that they had a completely different story. So vanilla Destiny 2 up until Shadowkeep, I believe that the pyramids had like a completely different story. And I think they and that was the whole like king and queen stuff, and that was Nezarec, and that was the Traveler's ancient enemy that it destroyed during the collapse, all of that. And then they basically just, I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know. I think what we got with the Witness so far is a complete downgrade, and it just reeks of they had a story and they just didn't know how, they couldn't manage it, and they didn't know how to implement it, and they couldn't handle it, and so they just dumbed it down into something easier and more, I guess, casual. The only thing that goes back to D1 is the Gardener. 100%. And that is, of course, in the Veiled Woman statue, because the Veiled Woman statue does go back to D1. And, yeah, that's it, pretty much. Hey, Story Seeker! Hey, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, I finished my spiel, and it's just kind of the discussion thing. If you, I don't know, if you have any questions or anything like that about this type of the statue, I don't know if you saw the video that came out today or whatever, but yeah, I'm just kind of chilling and talking to people. I don't know if it's me and my problems with concentration or this engaging topic, but I have a hard time following what you say. No, that's fine. Like, I talk kind of fast, and I don't have a script, right? So sometimes I will say a sentence and I'll butcher it, and I'll have to kind of like go back and fix it. So don't worry about that at all. That's not on you at all. I think matching the animals different than horse going too far. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, for example, for like the other statues, like they're straight up foxes, and those are in Root of Nightmares. Then for the Sphinx, I mean, it's a Sphinx. It's, you know. As for this, it's very clearly an animal, right? And the way the head is shaped, in my opinion, I think it mainly looks like it's the head, right? So, what type of animal has that type of head? So I think it's either a cow. But the fact is that this is copied and pasted by Bungie from a statue that had a lion head. So would they really just copy and paste it and then just change the head? I don't know. But I don't think there's... Listen, when it comes to theories and being straightforward about them being theories, I don't think there's anything as much as... I don't think you can go too far, right? It's fun. Bungie is way too slow about revealing plot stuff. Okay, I'm gonna give you my raw opinion here. The reason why everything is very, very slow... Because let's be honest, right? You have the real story. The real Destiny story. And that's not, you know, Season of the Therapy. That's not... Oh, we gotta power up Rasputin so he can fail us again. And it's not... even this Season of the Wish, it's not, you know, that... It's... The real story has always been where the Guardians were protecting humanity and were preparing for the day when the darkness returns and we either beat it or we have a second collapse. I just told you the entire story of the Destiny franchise right there. We're Guardians. We're protecting a post-collapse humanity. And we're preparing for the day when the ones who did the collapse come back and we have our final showdown. That's the entire story. Everything else is filler. That includes stuff like Rise of Iron. It includes the Taken King. It includes Forsaken, Curse of Osiris, Warmind. All of it is filler, with a little bit of just us preparing and getting ready for that final confrontation. The reason why they push it, why they're so slow with it, is because they're trying to stretch out those like few sentences for 10 years. And the reason why I was always a bit, I don't know, about sticking around after Final Shape is because if they actually finish off that story, technically there never was supposed to be anything after that. Not really. And so then you're kind of getting into the make it up as we go along territory. And that's why, you know, that's why they're so slow. As for the pyramid stuff, why are they so slow to reveal it? I think it is really because the pyramids represent like the pyramids are a massive part of the story, like a massive part of the story, and they have to be handled right. And you know, you get Beyond Light, which kind of had D3's sloppy leftovers, and they don't have the budget or the ability to put in a new enemy race or to really do anything. And you know, they had retcons of stories and stuff like that, so they just kind of play it safe. And I'll tell you what, right? Like Lightfall was a massive disappointment. The pyramids should have had their own expansion. I think there's absolutely no excuse for that whatsoever. Aramis should have never happened. Nobody cares about House of Salvation. Beyond Light, people talk about, oh yeah, Bungie's in a tough spot now because of Lightfall, and Destiny's in a tough spot because no. Again, I'm sorry for the background noise. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, no, Beyond Light was what did it. 100%. But, yeah, anyway. I heard that in the original story of Destiny, the pyramids are with the Traveler and the cause of the collapse. That might have been one version, but the version that I was told is not that. No, Felix, you're right. You're right in what you're saying. When I say that the Taken King was filler, I just mean that it's part of the whole preparing for the end. You know, like I see us clearing out the fallen houses, preparing for the end. Us clearing out the hive and all the other factions. That's us kind of wiping the slate so that we can actually deal with the main threat. But for the record, Taken King, like, just because they're technically filler, right? If you want to get into like what the true core of the story is, that doesn't mean they're bad. Taken King, insane. Rise of Iron, I personally think Rise of Iron is, it's like borderline better than Taken King in a few different ways, in my opinion. Certainly, Rise of Iron is better than. In my opinion, Rise of Iron is better than anything other than Forsaken Destiny 2 wise. Easily. And I'm talking about expansions. I think vanilla Destiny 2 is very good as a game. But Rise of Iron beats anything other than Forsaken, in my opinion. And people talk about Witch Queen and how great its story was. You know what? Witch Queen might have had a great story, gameplay-wise, with the campaign structure. I still preferred Rise of Iron's story. Rise of Iron made me feel way more than any expansion. Like, it was really good, man. But anyway, no. Like, just because they're technically filler, that does not mean at all that they're anything other than great. I'm still waiting for the 5th race. Yeah, Clone, I talked about it in my one video. I think the, So first of all, I will say this. There always was a 5th race. No, I don't know. I don't think there ever was gameplay-wise a fifth race. I don't think they got that far. But like that card, the concept art, and then also like there always was a race connected to the pyramids. Always. But if you want them to be a thing, I think the only chance we have is potentially after the Witness is defeated. And I had a whole video with a theory. It was the ChatGPT one talking about the potential backup plan that the Witness has. Because, like, I'm sorry, dude. Tormentors are kind of cool, but they are no replacement. And these new... What are they called? The subjugators? Dude, oh, come on. They're just Tormentor Rolk knockoffs, dude. I don't care about them. Yeah. Besides, Taken King was also cut from the base game, you know? It was. No, it was 100%. I don't know how much of the... Like, I think they may have... I think they did reshape a lot of the areas, and I don't know how much of the story was changed. Because if I remember correctly, the Dreadnought was used for the original D1 story. But it wasn't like, oh yeah, that's like, this is Oryx and the Crota and all that. I think it was still a bit different. I think the Taken King assets, I think a lot of that was... cut from the base game, but I think they like took it and then they Frankensteined it and they made their own like thing for it. Hey Blair, how you doing? Perhaps there will be a new race after the end of the current saga, but it'll have no relation to the darkness. I think that there is a chance they do that in the future, where they introduce an entirely new faction. But I think people are gonna be... I'm sorry, there's like a kid downstairs squealing. It's annoying. Basically, I think people are gonna be annoyed. Bro, people have wanted... Because the thing is, the 5th race, right? If you ask a die-hard Destiny player what the 5th race, what does that mean? They're gonna... Right, I'll just pull up the other page. 1 second. They're gonna come back to you with the one answer. They're gonna come back to you with the one answer. And it's this. This is the 5th race. People are already annoyed that we never got this. Okay? People wondered if we would get it in Beyond Light. We didn't. Okay, the chances of us getting it in Witch Queen, nah, not really. But then Lightfall? Lightfall. Callous, the Tormentor, and the Nesquik, Nesfat, bro. Bro. Absolute iridocyclitis, I'm telling you. If they come out and they're like, hey guys, we made a new race. We have the Dorpglorps from the Andromeda Galaxy. And the Dorpglorps are very powerful. And they've come to kill us all. And the Dorpglorps are a really big threat. Okay? Yeah, fear the Dorpglorp. Okay? And they show us, like, these guys, right? You know what everybody's gonna be asking? They're gonna be like, bro, you spent all this time on some random filler enemy just for the padding content after Final Shape. Why didn't you do that for the pyramids? Why? Like, why would you do that, man? Why would you do that? So, I think, Blair, do I think that there's a chance we get a new enemy race in the future and it's not darkness related? Maybe in the far future? Yeah? But like, if the year after Final Shape we get a new race and it's the Dorpglorps? Oh no, what was the other one? What was the other one? What was the other? What was the Zorpalods? Bro, the Zorpalods. If the year after the Final Shape we get the Zorpalods, people are gonna be mad. It's a fact. It's gonna happen. People are gonna be upset. You know? Why would you give us the Zorpalods and then completely ignore these guys? And the thing is, like, brother, come on, bro. It's like right there. It's like right there. You take the ball, right? And you turn it into a spear. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. You hear I'm going, yeah. And then you put some like glowy resonance. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then there you go. That's it. We did it. GG. Wait a minute, or we just do. Hey, I was in. It's right there. Yeah, take it. Do it. Anyway, that's my. Bro. The Zorpalods. Jay, you are a terrible person and you should be ashamed of yourself, and your ancestors look upon you with regret for your existence. You bring dishonor upon the family name. I'm not kidding. But yeah. Also, actually, you want to see the Strange Nine Women? I know, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think they will, but yeah, I would like that to happen. Just to let you guys know as well, I emailed Bife and I emailed Evase, and I asked them for permission, like if they would be okay with me reacting to their content, and Evase actually did get back to me, and he said it's perfectly fine. So in the future, if you guys want me to watch stuff from Evase, like, I don't have any issue with that at all. It's fine. But yeah, bro, I can't get the Zorpalods out of my head. Can you imagine, dude? We get the freaking the Zorpies. Wait a minute, I'm gonna Google this. The Zorpalods. Oh no, it's too good, dude. Wait a minute, I'll pull it up.
It was me, Guardian. I did the collapse.
Wait a minute. No, this is amazing. Destinypedia has a full lore page for the Zorpalods. Wait a minute. As the war between the Hive and the Ecumeny raged, the Zorpalods and Astro Demons were the only civilizations that prepared for a potential mass exodus. In the, at the time, unlikely event that the battle shifted in favor of the Hive. This preparation paid off as half their populations were able to successfully evacuate. After the decimation of the Ecumeny, the Zorpalods swore vengeance on all things paracausal. Leadership Zargway? Oh, dude. Hold on. I can't do it. Zargway, the regent of the Zorpalods. Originally a well-known and successful slugger, Zargway was elected regent of Slugaria only a few years before the arrival of the Hive. He had big plans for his people. Once the Zorpalods evacuated Slugaria, his title was changed to Regent of the Zorpalods. He quickly lost his mind, vowing vengeance on the Hive, and by extension everything paracausal. He is known to have fought the war. Oh no, I can't, dude. I can't. He is known to have fought the Witness on numerous occasions, but was never able to defeat them. I heard it was a pretty close fight. Zargway in his final stand. Oh boy. You better be saving the wells for that. Finishing a Zorpalod while it is frozen can sometimes result in the player being Gargalost. When the perk No, dude. Why does it work, dude? It's not. When the perk Zorpal weapon it was introduced, the Zorpalods became the first enemy race to receive a race-specific weapon perk. Bro, take your shank burn and move it to the side. We have a real perk here. Bro, why? I don't know why there's banging happening. It's actually like really annoying. In Season of the Plague, Zorpal weapon was temporary. Wait, what? Wait, what? Glorbo's Deception. Oh, I forgot about. Oh, that was right. Glorbo's Deception. Guys, I still. You know what's funny, right? When So not only was it like a secret, like I mean a super secret exotic, so most people didn't get it, but then um to kind of like cover it up, because everybody on the forums, they were complaining about the fact that it was like exclusive and all that. They basically just completely mass wiped it. But if you had Glorbow's Deception in your vault, you still got to keep it. So you know why? But that was only if like they didn't know you had it. So like as Clone always asks, why don't you show your vault? Why do you hide your vault so so adamantly? I'm not saying I have a Glorbow's Deception. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Fun fact, actually, by the way, this is genuinely a true story. Back in Destiny 1, before the Dark Below came out, I straight up convinced my friend over Xbox Live Party Chat that Bungie gifted me No Land Beyond. I convinced him that Bungie gifted me No Land Beyond because I was such an amazing player. But that I had to be sworn to secrecy. And then basically I convinced him that they found out that I had told him and that they had then taken it away from me. That was a good day. Almost as good as some of the other things that I got. Anyway, I'm just memeing. I'm just memeing. Yep, it's great. Zargway, the last of the Tai Shabeth. What is a Tai Shabeth? Okay, Luca, congratulations. You are now responsible for me going down another rabbit hole. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. What the frickety frackety is a Tai Shabeth? Oh, you're going on about the... Yeah. The one that Oryx took. Yeah. Okay. I understand. Close these. The Moa Zorp Fusion? Oh boy. That's gotta be a yellow bar. I better bring my overload. Okay, I don't see anything. If you've seen the final episode of Attack on Titan, then it means the true antagonist. I watched that finale with my girlfriend. It broke me. It genuinely broke me. Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Also, I will just let people know that are here. I'm planning on having a video on Friday as well, and doing this too. And I'm looking at I want to do a full storyline of Lisbon 13, because Lisbon is in my opinion, he's had one of the coolest character arcs in all of Destiny, and I think that his power level it has the potential to be just stupid, absolutely stupid. I think that if if you were to walk into Luke Smith's office and you were to point a Glarbo's deception at him in game, and you were to demand to know what class specifically the Guardian is, and he said it was not a hunter, I would say that Lisbon is the most powerful hunter in the Destiny universe. So, anyway, I look forward to going through that and covering that. I'm a bit behind on things, but I'm doing my best. And we got stuff. I want to do stuff about the 9 because somebody needs to call them out. Somebody needs to call them out because they are being absolute, just. I don't know. And I think somebody, I don't know people have or not, but I really want to, I think there's like another meaning behind the final shape as an expansion name, and I just want to cover that. And then also, I do want to talk about the Wish, Season of the Wish. I did see the cutscene, and I want to talk about the Ahamkara stuff, which I feel like people are making more of a deal out of the Ahamkara than they need to. I don't think we're going to get like a mass return of Ahamkaras or anything like that. I think the whole Ahamkara thing is literally just a gimmick to get us into the portal. And that's fine, but I don't, it's whatever. Yeah. Quick, what is Lisbon's greatest feat? I mean, that's kind of, maybe it's subjective, but in my opinion, I do believe Lisbon's greatest feat was him basically just 1v2ing against his fire team. I do. I really do. The fact that they were like going all in with their new powers as well, and he was like just trying to snipe them and stuff like that. I don't know. I listen, I think it's like, yeah. And the final bait. You know what, Jay? If the final shape ends the way I want it to, I mean, I think actually, I think it's gonna, the way it ends regardless, I think it's gonna be a big bait. It's gonna be a big bait. I guarantee, bro. There's no way the expansion ends, and they don't introduce some other reason to keep playing. Like, do you think that the narrative team and Bungie are not aware that like 200 million people, okay, it's probably more than that, let's be honest, have said that they're probably going to stop playing the game after Final Shape? I guarantee you, there's going to be a collective groan from the masses when they play the Final Shape, and there is still like a valid reason to keep them playing story-wise. They'll be like, oh man, I just want it to end. And then Bungie's like pulling them back in. It's gonna happen. It's yeah. And if you're curious what the way I want it to go, the way I would like it to go is we kill off the Witness, Gardner gets revealed properly as a character, and then it's confirmed that the Winnower exists and is on his way. I mean, it's been like 5 years, but whatever. And that is like the next saga. Just getting ready for that. But I think the worst ending Final Shape has, no Gardner reveal. It's literally Memory Lane, the expansion, just going down and having nostalgia bait everywhere. And then you kill the Witness, and then you leave the Traveler, and then the Glorpdorps get revealed. That's the worst ending. It's the worst ending. If that's the ending, I will not celebrate. I will not celebrate. I demand. Like, we're so close to having the Gardener, man. We're so close. Just give me the Gardener, please. Please, I beg. But we'll see. We'll see. And the thing is, like, dude, like, maybe I should make a video about it, I don't know, but the way that they introduced the Winnower and the Witness at the same time, and then they only went with the Witness as, like, the lesser being, They literally, they're like, what are we gonna do after Final Shape? The story is right there, man. It's right there. It's right there. And the thing is, it wouldn't even be them just like adding it in at the end. Like, even you look at the way the Witnesses race were deceived, in my opinion, by the Veil. You look at what the Winnower, like, you look at how the Winnower treats us, and you look at what the Winnower wants from us. And then you look at the Witness, and I think, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and then you look at us, apart from Strand, no, actually, sorry, Strand and Stasis, what's the point of us getting the darkness? It's because the light wasn't enough in whatever the situation was. Literally, all of this could easily be described as the Winnower pushing us closer and closer towards him. And that isn't like some crackhead theory either. The fact is, we have become far closer to the darkness over the last like 3 or 4 years than we ever thought we would. At all, ever. Why? Because the light just wasn't the light wasn't enough. And that's the whole point of the argument. The whole point of the argument is that why not stand along the victorious few? I am by all accounts, or by all standards that will ever matter, the winning side. And that's been proven. The light is not strong enough. No, Destiny 3 is... Destiny 3 will be made if Marathon fails. And by fail, I don't mean that it doesn't make them money. I mean that it doesn't make them enough money to replace Destiny 2. But at the same time, I think that there's a chance that Sony will make them make a D3. Because at the end of the day, games coming out make way more money than an expansion coming out for an existing game. You know? If they, let's just say, just hypothetically, right, they release Final Shape, and let's just say hypothetically they get 50 million for it, right? Again, I'm making up numbers. They release Destiny 3, they're probably going to make at least 3 times that, just because it's a brand new game, and people who don't play Destiny or who don't buy expansions or whatever, they're gonna get it for sure. So Sony knows that, Activision knew that. That's why Activision was adamant about them releasing a sequel every 2 years, because they knew that the boxes with the numbers on it sold money better than expansions. That was what they knew. But Bungie also knew that it was probably better for the players and the game to have the game go on for longer. I agree with that, but 6 or 7 years, it's... I don't know. I want to leave the solar system as Dark Orbit and Jackdaw. I don't mind, it just has to have the right context and reason. The fact that they have the Veiled Woman make an appearance in Root of Nightmares... Bro. Oh, man. It was good. Oh, man. The amount of times people were like, bro, that statue means nothing. That statue means nothing. Or, bro, the statue is the witness. It's the witness. And then you have Lightfall, and you have the witness, and you have the veil, and then in Root of Nightmares you get the statue still. And it's like, did you forget about me? Yeah, no. I think that listen, I don't want to be the guy who's like walking into this expansion making promises about what's going to happen and gets my hopes and other people's hopes up, but literally everything is stacked for the Veiled Woman to be revealed. That's literally it. That's literally it. And let me put it like this. Okay. If the Veiled Woman gets revealed, it's the winnower. I win. because then the winnower exists, and people have to admit that the winnower exists. It's the gardener. I win. Because it's been super clear that it's the gardener, and I've been saying that from the beginning that it's the gardener. And then if the gardener exists, there has to be the winnower. You cannot have one without the other. So, and then the other thing is, okay, fine, it's not the gardener or the winnower. Bro. The statue of the veiled woman existed before the witness was created. Oh, bro, like, the more I think about it, it's just so clear. Like, the fact that they cut up the gardener statue. Like, you think after they fell to the veil and all of that, they would make a statue representing the veil or the winnower and then cut it up like that? No, dude, it's, yeah, no. It's 100% either the gardener or the winnower, and I will always maintain that it's the gardener, 100%. And I mean, like, listen, I'm not trying to be confrontational, and I hate being confrontational, but the thing is that I really do my best to, like, back things up with the evidence, and then in the past I've had people kind of clown on me for this type of stuff, and it's like, okay, dude, you think the gardener is a load of nonsense. I mean, you can't now, but you think that the gardener being the woman and all of that is a load of nonsense. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But respectfully, I need to ask you to explain. Where was it? I mean, you already know the picture that I'm gonna bring up. Maybe I put it in the other folder too. I know it definitely is here though, so that's fine. Here we go. Like, can you explain this then? If you don't believe the gardener is real. And the issue is, right? The issue is that people will say, okay, well, this character right here is completely retconned. Okay, that's fine. Then how come this is pretty much 100% this, and this is the Veiled Woman statue? Like, if we see the gardener in person, I wonder what's going to be her real name. So her real name, I don't believe the gardener has a real name, because she's not a person. But in my opinion, and listen, nothing could come out of this. Nothing could come out of this. But if the Pyramid Race have their own name for the gardener, I do think it might be Sekhmet. And that would also, and there's things from the main narrative guy that's been there since D1, and I think it's a tie-in to some of his work. And he has a story, and it does tie into things. And that story was actually tied into the Witch Queen Collect. So the story that he wrote about Sekhmet was actually part of the code for the Witch Queen Collector's Edition ARG. And yeah, that's my... If the Pyramid Race have their own name for her, then that's sure. But I don't think she has her own name. I think she's just... Because the thing again is that the Gardener and the Winnower were made by mathematical chance, so they didn't have creators. And at the same time, they aren't people, they literally have only one purpose. I mean, listen, maybe she gave herself a name, I don't know, but I don't know. Also, the segmented Greek goddess statue is in the game inside the Europa Pyramid. So Luca, you're dead right. Basically, what they did was they took that statue and then they just put the whole like the texture over it. Yeah, they did. But it's the same statue. I mean, it's the same. It's the same. It's supposed to represent the same character. I don't know. Yeah. No. Yeah, it's I do know the one you're on about for sure. It's and it's also in Val the Disciple. It's in Rourke's Pyramid too.
Well, that's so.
But yeah. I don't know, dude. I want the final shape to be good. If I ever get the opportunity to, though, I really want to try and track down some of these people who did like the original stories, like for like people on the narrative team who don't work there anymore, or even people who work there but like, you know, they had to cut, like they scrapped different stories. I want to know D2's like original vision for the story going to D3 with the pyramids, and I want to know about the king and queen. I want to know about Nezaric's original story, and I just want to know what the kind of vision was, because I think it really looked cool. It really looked cool. And the unfortunate thing, right, is that I think that what they did with the pyramids is they butchered them, right? I know you might be like, yeah, but we got some cool stuff. Yes, we got some cool stuff, but you need to realize the build-up for the pyramids from D2 Vanilla all the way to Season of Arrivals was insane. Insane. Every single day, every single expansion, you're playing the game, you know in the back of your head those ships are on their way. And then you get Season of Arrivals, and just by them showing up, you're losing 4 planets. Oh my days. And then Beyond Light happens. You know that cinematic where the pyramid ship turned on? And then LC was like, this is what I want, this is what I brought you here to see. So in reality, what she brought them here to see was actually the witness cycling the pyramid through like starting up and shutting down. Because after it started up, it kind of just shut down again, and it didn't really do anything. It sat there. It did nothing. Except for sending out the ziggurat or whatever. And, can you guys tell me what the, can you guys tell me, when Beyond Light came out, where were the other ships? And what were they doing? We don't really know, do we? We don't really know. They literally disappeared. I think there was roughly over 100 ships counted by people in Season of the Worthy disappeared. They came into our system and then they just sat there. And just like that, the build-up was gone. The hype was gone. Do you want to know why? Because the build-up was more likely than not for Destiny 3. But even then, they could have salvaged it. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's probably I think they had to kind of tone things down. But at the same time, I feel like it was a clash of vision. I think people didn't really want the pyramids to be taking up everything. I think people... I don't know. Whoever thought that making Beyond Light about the Vex and Elsie and Anna and all of that, you did a bad job. And let me tell you why you did a bad job. You did a bad job because you put that story in an expansion that didn't market any of that. Beyond Light was marketed as a pyramid ship expansion where you get the darkness powers. I don't care about Anna Bray and Elsie's relationship. I don't care about what the Vex are doing on Europa. I don't care about Aramis and her house of salvation. I waited... How many years? What was it? It was 1, 2, 3... I waited 4 years. 4 years for Beyond Light after Destiny 2 revealed the pyramids. Because Destiny 2 and then Forsaken was year 2? Or was it 3 years? No. 2017, 2018 was Forsaken, 2019 was Shadowkeep, 2020 was Beyond Light. I waited until then for the pyramids to arrive. And you made me look at the pyramid from a distance while Anna and Elsie had their relationship fixed or something, sure. Instead of writing lore explaining that there was even a race at all in the pyramids, we got the dark future timeline that isn't going to happen and is completely irrelevant. I hope I didn't just turn off my headphones. Let me just double check this real quick. I accidentally pushed the power button, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. And my... Wait a minute. We're good. No. And it might sound like I'm really going in on the narrative team, and I understand that not everything was under their control. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but no, I think as a product, Beyond Light is where it began to fail. I do. For the story specifically. I mean, Beyond Light also had sunsetting and vaulting. Don't you think it is interesting that they have sworn to never sunset again, and yet those weapons are still sunset? Sunsetting, I do not believe was ever about, I think it was just because they wanted to give us weaker weapons, and they knew we wouldn't use the weaker weapons as long as the better weapons existed. It's that simple. So, like, listen, Mountaintop was a tumor, okay? I will give you that. But I'm sure Mountaintop should not be the reason for every other gun to be sunset still. You know? You can bring back the OG Curse of Osiris weapons. You can bring back Recluse even. You just nerf it if you have to. You can bring back the OG the Leviathan weapons. But I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway. You want to know about the original story of Destiny? Yeah, it was very different, for sure, man. For sure. I don't know, to be honest with you. Excuse me. What I will say is that when you look at the vision of the Destiny 1 to 4, I don't know how they could have made the original story fit that, because it was so tightly contained. It was kind of like a one and done, you know? And I think that was part of why they scrapped it, but still, I would like to know. Yeah. I wonder if Joe Staten, the story guy, is allowed to say anything about that, but who knows. Release of project documents for original D1 and D2 would be a blessing bigger than Forsaken, honestly. Yep, and even something as simple like that art that I showed you of the Pyramid Ship City from Mark Kolobayev, on his website, he still has the rest of the set locked on his website. And I really just want to know, like, I just hope someday he unlocks them, man. I really want to know. I really want to know what these pictures are. Bro, I'm gonna be 30 and he still won't have released them. I'm gonna cry. The seasons this delightful year should have been after Witch Queen. They're all Hive or Taken related. Are they? Deep was. Defiance wasn't, but Deep was. This one was. I mean, do you think Wish is gonna be? Wish, I feel like Wish is gonna be taken, probably. With the Dreaming City and the Curse. So if Dreaming City is taken, then that is, yeah, that's 3 out of the 4. Yeah, you're right, actually. And then what was Witch Queen was Hive for the first one, with the Lucent Hive, for Risen. Haunted was Cabal. And Scorn, or something. Yeah. Plunder, Fallen. And then, what was after Plunder? Seraph. Seraph was Hive. So that was 2 out of the 4. 2 out of the 4 were Hive. Me, I think Beyond that was supposed to be Hive and Black Fleet, because if you look at the concept art, there's Hive structures. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If you're talking about the art that I think you're talking about, I actually think that that was for Destiny 3. So I'm just going to say this. I strongly believe that Shadowkeep and Beyond Light had Destiny 3's leftovers. And, yeah, that's that. The Scarlet Keep, there's pictures of that on Europa, so... yeah, I don't know, man. I really would like to know what their original visions were for Destiny 3. I'd be curious to know if they do make a Destiny 3 in the future, what direction they would go down. But, you know, I would love, so I don't think it's going to happen, but the guys on Marathon are the Forsaken team, a lot of them. And the reason why they're there is apparently because they're burnt out on Destiny, which is, I guess, fair enough. Okay, fine. I would like it if after a few years, they kind of got over being burned out and then they went back to work on Destiny 3. I think that'd be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. But at the same time, if they become attached to Marathon and that's their baby now, I don't think it's fair for me to make them go to D3 just because I want them to, you know? And now we get Mountaintop multiple times, just a different... Yeah, you're right, Jay. Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%. Let me just say, I think Lorenz Driver was worse than Mountaintop ever was. For sure. For sure. I'm sure you can give me another example of something that's been just stupid. But, yeah. 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 Felix about emailing Joe. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, Jay, even when they do bring back the guns, it's usually with a weaker loot pool. So, it's kind of like a shell of what they were. To be fair, man, he didn't have enough time. I don't think he had enough time. And the thing as well is he wasn't just the story guy for Infinite. He was literally the game lead or something like that. He didn't have time to just purely focus. So I don't listen. Infinite's story is garbage. In my opinion, Infinite had a worse story than Halo 5. But I don't blame that on Joseph Staten at all. I think he did the best with what little he had. Then D2 would be the shameless Christmas Artist in Warmind? I don't know what you mean. Oh, sorry. No. So originally, so think about it, right? D1 was supposed to be Destiny 1 and Taken King. In terms of big boy stuff, right? D2 would have been D2 and Forsaken. Can you imagine if Destiny 2 ended in Season of Opulence? Can you imagine how good that would have been? Ugh. So good. Red War was fun as a campaign, but the game lacked... No, I agree. End game wise, right? End game, yes, it did. And the systems were bad. And the whole... just whatever, yes. But the game in terms of the content and like just the stuff, I think was good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the reskinning, Jay. It's just whatever. I used to be really annoyed at it. I think the angriest I got at the reskinning was actually, excuse me, Lightfall with the destination weapons just being the reskinned moon weapons. But at this point, I just have accepted it. It's fine. I don't care anymore. Yeah. But anyway, I think I'm probably gonna wrap things up now because I don't want this to go on for too long, and I'm probably just gonna chill for a bit before I go to bed. I've gone back into Baldur's Gate 3, and it is a really good game, man. For those who played it or you know about it, I am playing an Oath of Vengeance Paladin, and I'm just going like full on Holy Warrior. It's like, Beast, you must die. Full on like Warhammer 40k, like humanity first. Kill the mutant. Yeah. I think the new supers will be good. Mainly the Titan and the Hunter. I feel like the only way they're gonna make this Warlock one viable is if they make it super overpowered. But I don't know. I'm also afraid that the Hunter one is gonna be really fun, but it's not gonna be strong in PvE at all. And that in PvP, it's going to be like a super high skill gap. I still think they need to completely redo, what's it called? Spectral Blades. Because it has no PvE value whatsoever. At all. And in PvP, it isn't good. So I would like to see them do something with that, but yeah. You're excited for it? You're excited for like the supers? Yeah, I'm excited to play with it for sure. I would like to see the red subclass. I mean, everybody has just kind of agreed that it's gonna be like the red thing or whatever, but I am curious to have that. And yeah. Listen, I want the expansion to be good. I would rather they delay it until June and then add stuff to it or just polish it like perfectly than just do like uber time crunch just to get it up by February. Actually, just speaking of that, I'm gonna quickly, what I always do, I did check it today, but I'll check it again, is I always check Paul Tassi on Twitter. He usually has some scoop. Nah. So for those of you who don't know, Bungie released a press release yesterday, or the day before, roughly, and it's apparently still February 27th for final shape. So,
Stinky.
oh, bro. Also, can we just admit, like, Inarius is so cool, dude. I don't care if he's a bad guy. He's so cool. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to nerd out. Anyway. That'd be cool, man. I would take that. Yeah. People think, oh, it's going to be Siva. I don't think it's going to be Siva. You see, it has to be paracausal, right? And like the thing is, I used to believe that it was resonance. But resonance isn't. So my personal theory about resonance is resonance was them trying to copy the light. It's like their like version of like electricity or something. It's like the power source. It's not I don't know. But anyway, I'm kind of just rambling on at this point, and I'm getting tired, so I think I will end it there. But hopefully, I can get my next video out on Friday. We have a good, have I gone to the final shape? Final shape. Yeah, it still says February. Still says it, but yeah, I was gonna say that. At the bottom it does. Yeah, it does. But anyway, yeah, we're kind of on a good grind consistency wise, and hopefully I can get my thing up for Friday. Hope you enjoy that if I can get it out, and then yeah, hopefully I can see you guys here tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Sorry, I can see you guys at the next one of these streams too. And I'm still working on stuff in the background. But yeah, I'll have more on that later. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind my ramblings or whatever. And yeah, take care, guys. Good night. Hope you have a good day, night, evening, whatever, and you have a great rest of your week. And I will see you on Friday, hopefully. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.